First date. Everything's going well. Conversation flows. Then they look down at your arm. You don't have any tattoos? Their tone carries a hint of disappointment, as if blank skin means boring person. You suddenly feel less interesting, less complete. But here's what no one tells you. You're not boring. You're not scared. You're not too conservative to get inked. There's something deeper happening in your psychology. Some people don't get tattoos because of who they are deep inside. Some because of how they see the world. And some for reasons that might surprise you. Today we'll explore 5 types of people who don't get tattoos, and the final type is something most don't talk about. What you discover might explain your own relationship with your body. You know you're a perfectionist if you've ever done this. Stare at tattoo designs for hours. Pinterest boards full of ideas. You love the concept, but when it's time to decide, you can't. Which font? Script or bold? Where to place it? Inner arm or outer? What size? What if in 10 years it doesn't look proportional because your body changed? Every detail must be perfect. One small mistake, and it's there forever. Psychologists call this anticipatory regret, the fear of future regret that prevents you from acting in the present. Research from the Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making shows that people with perfectionist tendencies experience decision paralysis 40% more intensely when facing permanent choices. And tattoos? That's one of the most clearly permanent choices there is. Imagine this. You pick a design, book an appointment, sit in the chair. Artist prepares the needle. And in your head, what if I don't like it in 5 years? What if this style becomes outdated? What if I change? Your brain is protecting you, not attacking you. Here's what's important. This isn't weakness. This isn't fear. This is your brain doing exactly what it's supposed to do, protecting you from a permanent decision when you're not 100% ready. Validation for perfectionists. You're not overthinking. You have high standards. And for something that stays on your body forever, high standards are a good thing. The problem? For perfectionists, perfect timing might never come, and that's okay too. If you think fear of imperfection was extreme, wait until you hear about the next group. People who hate commitment so much that tattoos feel like chains. If you hate being tied down, if you love change, if you thrive on spontaneity, this might be you, the free spirit. Think about your life. New hair color every 6 months, wardrobe refresh every season, style constantly evolving. You're not the person you were yesterday, and you're definitely not the person you were 10 years ago. So why commit to one image forever? A friend of mine, classic free spirit, put it this way. I've changed jobs 3 times in 5 years, changed apartments 4 times, changed relationships, changed hobbies, changed my entire life philosophy. Tattoos? Feels like putting a stake in the ground, and I don't want stakes. The free spirit philosophy. Life is fluid, flexible, open to change. Tattoos symbolize commitment, and commitment feels like chains. But here's an interesting twist. The refusing to get a tattoo is also a commitment. Commitment to freedom, commitment to flexibility, commitment to the idea that you can be anyone tomorrow. The difference? It's a commitment they choose, not a commitment forced on them by a permanent mark. I remember reading a quote, "The only constant is change." Free spirits live by this, and blank skin allows them to keep changing without an anchor pulling them back to the past. Validation. Not getting a tattoo isn't about fear, it's about protecting your freedom, your ability to reinvent, your permission to evolve. But there's a group with completely different reasons. Not overthinking, not love of freedom. They simply can't stand tattoos. Let's meet the tattoo haters. But there's a group whose reason is much simpler. They hate tattoos. Not overthinking like perfectionists. Not loving freedom like free spirits. They simply can't stand it. If you cringe when you see ink on someone else's skin, if you find tattoos messy, chaotic, even unattractive, you might be a tattoo hater. And here's what's interesting. This isn't judgment. This is a visceral reaction, a gut response. Psychologists call this aesthetic aversion, discomfort from aesthetics. Just like some people hate the smell of coffee, some hate the texture of velvet, Some people simply can't handle the sight of permanent marks on skin. Where might this come from? Sensory sensitivity. A nervous system more sensitive to visual stimuli. Cultural background. Growing up in an environment where tattoos are taboo. Sense of order. A brain that prefers symmetry, clean lines, blank canvas. Or simply, you just don't like it. Period. And here's the validation. You don't need a deep reason. Not every preference needs a psychological explanation. Sometimes, dislike is just dislike. Simple, valid, authentic. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you don't like what they like. But now we enter deeper territory. People who don't get tattoos because of identity. If tattoos just don't feel like you, if you express yourself internally, this might be your type. The personal believer. Remember this scenario. First date. Everything's going well. Conversation flows. Then they look down at your arm. You don't have any tattoos? Their tone carries a hint of disappointment. As if blank skin equals boring person. You suddenly feel less interesting, less complete. But here's the truth that personal believers understand. Identity isn't written on skin. It's lived through thoughts, actions, and daily choices. Psychologists call this internal locus of identity, a sense of self that comes from within. People with an internal locus don't need external markers to feel complete. Research from the Journal of Personality shows people with internal locus of control tend to have more stable self-esteem, not dependent on external validation. Personal believers don't reject tattoos out of fear. They reject them for authenticity. Ink on skin isn't how they communicate who they are. They live by principles, quietly, intentionally, without needing a billboard. Like a quote I once read, "I don't need to prove who I am. I live it every day." Validation for personal believers. Emotional independence is a superpower. You don't need society's approval to feel whole. And now the type competitors don't talk about. Type 5. The reason that might surprise you. And now the type that most don't talk about. This type is different. They don't just not need a tattoo, they actively protect their body from marking. Imagine this. Friends plan a matching tattoo trip. Everyone's excited. Pinterest boards, appointments booked. Everyone's picking designs. And you? You're not scared. You're not overthinking like a perfectionist. You don't hate tattoos like a hater. You simply don't want anyone else writing on your canvas. This is the concept psychologists call bodily sovereignty. Your body, your canvas, your rules. Think about this. Every scar on your body tells a story. That bike fall when you were 7, sunspots from those beach summers, lines around your eyes from years of laughter. Your skin has already written your history. Identity protectors don't see blank skin as empty. They see it as full. Full of marks that life created, not a needle. Research on body autonomy shows people with a strong sense of bodily sovereignty tend to have better boundary settings in relationships and careers. They know what belongs to them and what no one else can touch. Scenario: creative industry workplace. You work at a design agency. Everyone around you has ink. Your blank arms get assumed to be conservative, uptight, even scared to commit. But you know the truth they don't see. You're not rejecting expression. You're rejecting letting others define your expression. Imagine this. Waking up, looking in the mirror. Your skin tells your story. No artist needed to draw meaning onto you. The meaning is already there. Lived, not inked. You're not refusing tattoos. You're choosing to protect your own canvas. That's not fear. That's sovereignty. Validation for identity protectors. Your body is already a masterpiece written by your life. You don't need anyone else's signature on it. So after 5 types, which one are you? Let's recap. 5 types of people who don't get tattoos. Type 1. The perfectionist. Anticipatory regret. Every detail must be perfect, and permanent decisions feel impossible. Type 2. the free spirit. Commitment to freedom. Tattoos feel like chains, and they choose to protect their ability to change. Type 3. The tattoo hater. Aesthetic aversion. They simply don't like it. Valid without explanation. Type 4. The personal believer. Internal identity. No need for external markers to feel complete. Type 5. The identity protector. Bodily sovereignty. Actively protecting their canvas from anyone else's marks. Which one are you? Perfectionist? Free spirit? Hater? Personal believer? Identity protector? Or maybe a mix of several types? Here's what matters. There's no right type. There's no wrong type. Only the type that's true to who you are. One final thought, and here's what I want you to remember. Society tells you that blank skin means boring, means scared, means you haven't lived enough. But after this video, you know the truth. Not getting tattoos isn't about lacking courage. It's about bodily sovereignty, autonomy over your body, the right to have your canvas protected by you. Perfectionist, you have high standards. Free spirit, you protect freedom. Hater, your preferences are valid. Personal believer, your identity lives from within. Identity protector, you own your canvas. Next time someone asks, "You don't have any tattoos?" You don't need to defend. You don't need to explain. You just need to know. Your skin, your story, your rules. And that is true sovereignty. If this video helped you understand yourself better, drop a comment and let me know which type you are. And if you know someone struggling with the question, "Why don't I want a tattoo?" share this video with them. Validation might be exactly what they need right now. Subscribe if you want to explore more psychology behind decisions that seem simple on the surface. I'll see you in the next video.